special part of our presentation, because we have not eaten dinner yet. So I'm going to take y'all and shut up and not talk, but you'll be in my ears. It's happening. Sorry. Somebody had a medical emergency and a car accident, literally as I was leaving, wrecked, and the cops told me to stop as the fire truck was coming, and I literally had to sit there 30 minutes waiting. I couldn't turn around or do nothing until everything had happened. So that's why I'm behind schedule in my whole life tonight. But all right, Jill McCarthy, there she is. DJ Jill. She gonna start recording? Okay. Already, oh, we're going? Oh, we're already, oh, hi. All right, let's get started. Okay, Thursday night shift. Hello, everybody. Our question of the night is for our special guest speakers. Who is the most positive person you know and why? I'll answer it first since nobody knew what the question was. Surprise! Here's our topic. The most positive person I know is my mom. Like, she is seriously the greatest human being on planet Earth. And I think when she says, would you say she cusses? She's cussed before, rarely, but she doesn't really cuss. She doesn't say bad things about people. I think the worst thing she did was put two boys on the same date, a double date on high school. Like, she'll still tell you that when that's what she did back in the day. And she was so embarrassed. And so it is my mom is the most positive person I know. She don't have a bad bone in her body. Jody.
I want to go next. I don't want anybody to steal mine. I don't want anybody to steal mine. Okay. So this is going to sound super duper cliche, but I have something to back it up with, and it's Heather. And the reason it's Heather is, see, that's why I want to go next. I just saw Jody go like this. And here's why. Because anytime we come up with there's an issue or there's a problem or there's an accident or there's something, the first thing that Heather says is, okay, this is what we're going to do to help them. This is how we're going to fix it. Oh, there are no bad answers. There's no issues. There's no problems. We're just going to fix it. And it doesn't matter literally what it is. Hashtag active in April. Everybody knows that was like Heather being like, all right, nobody at home office is losing their jobs. We're going to find out how this is going to the world is going to go on. So that would be mine. We love you.
Ditto.
You know, she picked that question because she knew we'd all say her.
No, I asked Jason to do a topic. I go, give me a question quick. We have to have an opener. He goes, do one of the questions from the PowerPoint I'm talking about tonight. And that's what he said.
I'll go.
Okay. Go.
I would have to say all 6 of these superstar directors, really. That's another cliche, but you know, we may have things that we don't agree with, but it always goes back to what is the best way to represent Scentsy. I think, like, sometimes our conversations that we have, if someone were to be listening, and I don't mean it badly, it's, you know, it's not nitpicky stuff from high school. It's like, hey, you have a Scentsy business. You need to act this way, or Scentsy is doing this in our best interest. And that's all of these ladies, really. I mean, I've known all of them for going on 12 years, and my business and my mindset has never done better because I have an open and honest and really healthy relationship with all of them. So I would say if you need positivity, you're not going to go wrong by being on these shift calls because of all of you guys. So.
Am I next? I'll go next. To get right on the cliche bandwagon, I would have to say these ladies. I could name an instance for each one, but I won't do that. But I do remember one of the first times I actually sat at an intimate table with Callie and Becca, and I don't know, I was having a Debbie Downer moment. Imagine that. And Callie and Becca just popped right in with all the positivity and told me about this journal and how to write down all these things. And I'll never forget it. And I still have the journal. I also was with Heather another time where I was talking about something. She said, get out a pen and paper. You're going to start writing about all the good things that you can do right. So like I said, I could go down the line with each one of them, but definitely fills my cup and my basket with these ladies, hands down.
So I'll go next. And it's honestly the same. Like, But you know what? I'm going to throw another name out there because there is another superstar director that also like really sticks in my head. And if you don't know her, I hope you get to know her someday. Her name is Terry Newman. And she's literally the epitome of positivity. She is a cheering coach and like just an amazing person. But we are also lucky because this group, again, just like they said, we're very, very, very lucky to have each other.
Amen.
Can we stop with the snappy stuff though? I mean, like for real, it's been a day. We need to go on to some like.
Oh, it's about to be, because guess who's coming in the house? Y'all better brace yourselves tonight. Y'all are all going to boot camp. I am introducing Chief Gorsuch, my husband. It's just Jason. So here's why I picked this for him to do this tonight. And normally I would have like done his PowerPoint and everything. Y'all always hear from me. I want you to hear from a different perspective. It is going to be very real. It is going to be in your face. He may piss you off. He may cuss. So if there's children, get them away. F word comes out of his mouth like he's saying the word red.
I will not curse.
Okay, good. He is going to be tough. He may say some things that hurt your feelings, but don't take it personal.
I won't do that.
You have to understand he is a Navy chief of 20 years retired. He is a high school naval science instructor. So he deals with high school kids every day. But he has also been my husband in this business for 13 years and a Navy recruiter for 3 years, which Navy recruiting is very similar to our business. I'm going to tell you that right now. There are so many similarities. And so, go Navy. So I'd like to introduce and let Jason, my hubby, take over. Have a seat, Chief. I cleaned it for you and everything. Okay, have a seat. Come on into my office.
Well,
Oh,
good evening, ladies. The light is
and
nice there.
gentlemen, there's a
Oh,
gentleman.
and gentlemans. Okay. So none of that she just said was true. So, okay. So I'm going to be talking to you guys tonight for about 15, 20 minutes. And it has a lot to do with the thing you guys just talked about. It has to do with perspective. It has to do with experiences. It has to do with interpreting events and experiences in your life that make you who you are. Every one of you has lived a different life for the most part. From the time you were born all the way up into where you're at right now, the experiences that you've had in your life have basically developed who you are. It's how you see the world, it's your perspective, it's your positivity, it's your negativity. And it also has to do with working on yourself too at the same time. So the same thing that I teach my cadets, I actually taught this just the other day. This is all going to marry up to leadership also. So I want you to think about this as I go through this about yourself, but I also want you to think about how you can take care of other people using these things that I'm going to talk about. Okay, so your experience is what happens to you and directly in the, your experience is what happens to you directly and in the world around you all the time. All right. And as I look through some of these PowerPoints as I walk through, I'm not going to read them to you. I'm just using them as cues for myself. So physically, when you guys were growing up, you had all these milestones that happened. You graduated from high school, or maybe, you got married, you had your first child, you had maybe a traumatic event that happened in your life. All these things developed and made who you are today based on those experiences. Maybe you lived in different parts of the world. You got to experience different cultures. Maybe it broadened your horizons there. Maybe you've never left your hometown. It all affects who you are. Okay. And so growing up and gaining all this maturity, we've all done this, right? It all has everything to do with developing a positive attitude also. Okay. So attitude and personality. You guys, attitude is rooted in our thoughts and our feelings and our beliefs. It could be religious, could be cultural, it could be based on experiences too. And our behavior when it comes to those attitudes has everything to do with our personality. So you take your attitude and your behavior, and those are going to make up your personality. You have a good behavior, you have a positive outlook on things, you look at the perspective level, the 10,000 foot view, take yourself out of the forest. Don't be in the forest staring at the trees, be up on the mountain looking down at the forest, change your perspective, right? So doing that will change your attitude, it will change your behavior toward things because you'll understand things a lot more. And you'll use your experiences to shape and hone those things. So I want you to think as experiences as a rudder. And if you don't know what a rudder is, that's what steers the boat, okay? So when you're steering a boat or you're turning the wheel, underneath the water, there's a rudder that directs you. Your experiences act as a rudder on a boat, okay? Since it helps you to navigate the course of your own life. Experience helps you make better decisions because basically, if you fail at something, You've learned something. So failure is not a bad thing. So I need you to take that out of your mind. Failure is not a negativity. It's actually a positive thing. You get better at interpreting events. You learn as you go, and this helps you to be a skillful guide where you want to go and what you want to be. Okay. Now, the importance of a positive outlook on your life and your business and your people, you know, it's either going to be a good or a bad attitude towards things. Which attitude would you prefer to be around? I think most people would say they'd prefer to be around positive people. I tell my kids quite often, and this rings true for adults too, you are the company you keep. If you're going to surround yourself with negativity, you're going to be negative too, more than likely. If you surround yourself with positivity, that will push off onto you. You will glean that positive attitude. You will be around that positivity, and it will just soak up into you like a sponge. The more people that are successful around you and have that positive attitude, the better your group will be, okay? And more successful they'll be. So how would your friendship be affected if a person who had an ongoing bad attitude was around you? I can tell you that personally, if I had people that had a bad attitude around me all the time, well, I'd probably have a bad attitude too. People that are always like, you know, that's stupid. Why are we doing this? You know, how come? No, dude, I'm not going to get on that call, or, you know, whatever you talk about. And Scentsy, you have people in your teams like this, you know, that don't want to do calls, or maybe they're just always complaining all the time. Those are the people that we need to take a step back and look at and ask, okay, why are they that way? Probably their experiences have made them that way. Maybe it's the company they already keep. So you got to kind of think about that when you're dealing with people. All right. Your attitude is a compass. If you do positive things, you'll slowly but surely develop a more positive attitude. Everybody knows this. You know, open a door for somebody, you know, and then having somebody, you see it return as a favor, or maybe you're gifting something to somebody and you finally start seeing those things reciprocated. Talking to people in a kind way, somebody saying yes ma'am or no ma'am or no sir or whatever, and giving more mutual respect to people. That kind of positive attitude rubs off on lots of people. It warms the heart, makes people feel good. That bad attitude is not good. So in your teams, think about always trying to be as positive as possible. You know, I'm not trying to tell you like fake it till you make it, but at the same time, work on yourself and think about being positive with your people, because it's going to rub off on them. Just like you guys were talking about here in the beginning, when we talked about, you know, who's the most positive person in your life. A lot of you guys were mentioning Heather, and then you mentioned that, you know, some of the superstar directors and whatnot. I think everybody in this whole group would probably have, you know, different positive people in their life. They could say maybe it's their husband or their mother, or maybe it was, you know, one of their favorite teachers in school or something. But that rubbed off on them in some way because they remember them. They remember the positive things they did. Oh, I should silence her phone. All right.
Hand it to me, I can silence it.
Oh, you're there. I didn't even know you were still in here.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
I'm listening. I'm in class.
So I'm going to mention a book, okay? And this is taught to my kids also. We don't read it. I just talk about it to them. But there was a book written, I'm Okay, You're Okay. You've maybe heard of it. It was written by Thomas Anthony Harris in 1969, hippie times. So, you know, these guys were all like, you know, they were a little weeded out. I don't know if they were doing drugs or not. But the thing is, the fact of the matter is, they put together a great book. Okay, this guy did. I'm sorry, Thomas Anthony Harris, not they, he. It was a 4 life position / attitude profile where they defined which reflect a person's approval of both himself and others. So this goes into thinking about yourself, right? Now, I need you to think about 4 different things. There's 4 different levels. There's a I'm not okay, you're okay situation. Now, that life position attitude has to do with the low self-esteem type person. And most people, believe it or not, are in this level. They don't feel they're good enough as the other people are. They don't feel like they measure up. And we got to change that. We have to think about, you know, I am as good as them. I just have to work as they do and be as positive as they are and put in the work. Stop thinking like I'm not good enough. There's another level, second level. That's the I'm not okay, you're not okay. That is the absolute worst attitude you could ever have. That is the Eeyore of people, okay? And that's from, you know, Winnie the Pooh, if you don't know who Eeyore is. But Eeyore is the humdrum, everything sucks, like, oh, this is the worst, that's never gonna happen. We all have people like that in our lives. I'm sure you guys have people like that on your teams. If you have a big enough team, I'm sure there's plenty of them. It's trying to teach those people not to be that way. It's hard. and you have to kill them with kindness if you know, and you have to be positive, you have to be upbeat, and it's very exhausting. I know, okay? I've seen Heather go through it. I go through it at school too with kids. I'm sure you do it too in your teams. The third level would be the I'm okay, you're not okay. That's the person that, and we all know these people, that think that you can't tell them anything. Like, I know everything. That I know everything person, like, I don't need to, wait, you have nothing for me. I'm better than you, looking down upon you and stuff. That's a bad position to be into also. The one that everyone wants to strive to be in is the title of the book. I'm okay, you're okay. You want to be accepting of somebody else and accepting of yourself, of the ability for you to go forth and succeed, right? Just like you want to encourage somebody else and give them confidence in their abilities to go off and succeed also. And it's okay to fail, all right? Now, I don't know if you guys have heard of Thomas Edison. Most people have. He's the inventor of the light bulb. This guy failed thousands of times trying to create this light bulb. And when somebody was doing a report on him, this is some story, I can't tell you who the reporter is, but as the story goes, they asked him, how do you feel, Mr. Edison, about failing over 1,000 times? He said, well, I don't look at it as failure. I just found 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb. And to me, that's not failure. That's a success every single time. And so there you in yourself is perspective, right? Thomas Edison had a different perspective. He had that positivity to go, you know what? Maybe that's not the way to do it. If you look at it as that's just another way not to make a light bulb, and you continue on. Not, I can't make a light bulb, I'm done. Okay, so it's about perseverance. Okay, so that value of positive attitude, we have to eliminate toxic personalities from our life. If you went to Heather in San Diego, how many years ago was San Diego the family reunion?
Oh, a long time ago.
3 years ago, possibly?
No, more than that.
Okay, maybe 4. There was an individual that was up on stage and was doing magic tricks and stuff like that or whatever. But he talked about people in his life that he surrounded himself with. And I still remember this today. Kids were doing snow angels, or not snow angels, but the confetti angels on the floor. I mean, it was crazy. But during this SFR, this speaker, he kind of struck a nerve with me about this, is that eliminating the toxic people in your life only make you better. When you continue to keep toxicity in your life, you will continue to have to deal with it. It will infiltrate your life. It will be a virus. And I don't care if you're the most positive person around, it will affect you in some way, shape, or form. You have to separate those people from your life. Keep them at arm's distance, okay? 6 feet of separation, all right? We're social distancing those people. Keep them away from you. You don't need them, okay? Let them be who they're gonna be. You can't change them. You can try to be positive and maybe they can get that from you, but that toxicity is not what you need in your life, okay? So think about your team, and if there's anybody like that on your team, I'm not saying you need to dump them, but at the same time, keep them at arm's reach. Don't welcome it into your own home. Don't let it pollute what you're doing by them being so toxic, okay? We all have bad moods, that's one thing, but toxicity is a whole different level. That's that I'm not okay, you're not okay mentality, all right? Now, be careful because attitudes are contagious, correct? Everybody should agree to that. Positivity is great. When Heather's positive, I'm positive, okay? I know it's tough. She's my yin to the yang, if you will. Like, I'm not like her in a lot of ways. I tend to look at things in a more devil's advocate nature, which tends not to be the best way to think about things, but it's a preparedness thing that I do. That's why I think that way, and I think it's just the way I'm made up, being in the military and whatever. Hers is more along the lines of, no, we can make this happen. We can do this. And I'm like, how? Like, are you kidding me? Well, that's that self-discipline, that self-esteem problem that I have. Like, oh my gosh, I don't think we can do this, which is weird because she doesn't even have that. And to be that way is great. So she's changed me a lot of ways in my marriage with her, that she's made me more powerful, okay, in that aspect, and made me more positive about things. Now, I'm not like her, okay? I just know that she's made me that way. So I'm lucky to have positivity around me. Maybe you have somebody in your life like that. I wouldn't be who I am today without her. So, and being that positive, I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be able to talk to these kids the way I do and have patience. There's no way. Be choking kids out right and left. Okay, so I want to get down to one other part here as I'm skipping forward in my notes. I want to make sure that you guys understand that affiliation. I want to talk about your perspective, how it molds your purposes and your passions and your practices. Humans are social creatures. We know this, with a strong desire to feel part of a group. Your people want to be part of a group. They want to be involved. How many of you have been in groups where your sponsor never, ever contacted you? You were on an island by yourself trying to figure this out. Then you ended up calling other people that weren't even in your group. Everybody wants to be part of a group. That's why they join clubs in high school. That's why they join bridge clubs when they get older, I guess, or play golf with a group of people. They want to be close to people. So think about that when you're with your people. Know that they want to be there. Even the negative ones, they want to be there, okay? This is a natural human characteristic. It's called an affiliation need. That's the name of it. So when we're younger, we really want that need. As we grow older, maybe we get tired of people, but we still want it, okay? I get a little tired of people, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'd rather just come home and stay by myself, but I do have a need to be around people, trust me. What's that noise? Is there a horn going off? What's that noise?
I think someone's unmuted and it's on their phone.
Oh, okay. Now, how does this perspective mold your purposes and passions and practices? The desire for affiliation can sometimes lead to actions or behaviors that conflict with a person's usual values and beliefs. So this presents a situation that may be hard to resist, especially when there's peer pressure involved, or, for instance, you feel like you have to do it to be part of that group. I think you guys can maybe connect the dots on that one within your own groups when there's people that may not necessarily be doing the right thing, or maybe it's on Facebook and they make a bad comment and here comes the next bad comment. And then somebody else makes another bad comment. You know, that may be an example of that pressure to feel like I need to throw something out there negative. That's that toxic personality coming out in some people also. Why did they need to do that? Why wouldn't they have made just a comment that was positive? Why wouldn't they say something to change somebody's perspective? Why wouldn't they say, you know, it's okay that that happened. We can pick up the pieces and we'll be better for it next time. We've learned. Why can't people do that? It's because they don't want to change, right? If nothing changes, nothing changes, as I hear. Somebody told me that the other day. I think her name's Heather. I heard her say it in here. And I use it now because it's brilliant. If you're not
my
gonna,
original quote, babe, that somebody else says that.
sure, I'm giving you credit.
It's not mine.
Take it, babe.
No, it's not mine.
So cultivating a healthy perspective, you got to have a strong and deep belief, okay, that forms the basis of your thinking. Okay, it could be from religious or social or political or even personal. All right, these people that were the most positive people in your lives that you guys were thinking about earlier, or even thinking about that you may not have been asked, but I'm sure you thought of them. Why were they that way? How come you can't be that way? Learn from them. Develop your own self that way. Teach others about positivity, your own people in your groups. Something you deeply want for yourself, that's that desire, man. Like you want it, go get it. Frequently part of your emotional and psychological motivation is going to be that desire to achieve something greater. So beliefs and desires help shape a person's perspective. What you believe, the things you were brought up culturally doing, religious, and your desire to make it happen. That's going to shape your perspective. Without desire, you can't have perspective. You can't see, you know, the next day or the next week or the next year. You can't see you getting the mentor award, or you can't see yourself getting the sales award if you don't have the desire or the belief that you can do it. So it's about perspective, okay? Cultivating a healthy perspective is something that's very, very important to everyone. And we need to make sure that we stay on board with that with ourselves and have it leak off onto others. All right, that's the whole goal here. Having a positive attitude, looking at perspective, a desire and a belief to want to do better, okay? You want to focus all your attention on those positive things and take that negative out of your life. It's going to be a hard task. There's always negative around us. You can flip on a TV right now, and I'm sure you can find some negative within two channels. You have to be careful of what you surround yourself with. So, in closing, everyone has heroes in their life, right? Where cultivating a healthy perspective is very, very important. And these heroes in our lives, it could be our dads, or it could have been a sports figure, or it could have been a coach, or maybe a favorite teacher. They were that reason. They were your hero for a reason. Think about why they were your hero, a teacher, a coach, your father, or whatever, your mother, maybe. These heroes set goals. They got excited about them, and then they worked to achieve them by concentrating their effort, okay? That's all this has to do with. Perspective, a belief in yourself, remaining positive, okay? Thinking about I'm okay and you're okay. Building up a little bit of self-esteem about yourself. Don't worry about failing. Failing is okay. You can't learn if you don't fail. That's what failure is. That's what beauty of failure. No one's perfect and no one's ever going to succeed every single time. Okay? So you can do it. I know you can. Your hero set goals. Emulate the positive people in your life, and you guys will be successful. Think about your people on your teams. Treat them the exact same way you'd want them to be treated. Be positive with them. They will start becoming positive with you. It takes time for some gravitate to it immediately, and make them feel welcome. That's a perspective and attitudes brief from myself to you. I hope you enjoyed it. Do y'all do questions and stuff?
Yeah, ask questions.
Okay. Does anyone have questions for me? I can answer some questions. I will also take feedback. Oh, everybody's still awake? Thank you very much. Glad
Jason.
everybody's still awake.
Thank you, Jason.
Did anybody learn anything, or is this all pretty much common sense?
No, it's nice to get a not only a different perspective, but a man's perspective and a mostly women-dominated field. So
Yes.
and you're my hero because you drive a King Ranch now, but I mean that's besides the point.
I can tell you that yes, obviously women and men are different. I would do things differently than Heather. In a group of men can get mad today at somebody, and 10, 15 minutes, an hour later, we're good. I mean, we're best of friends again. A woman can get mad at another woman, or a man for that matter, and they're gonna be mad. They carry it forever, sometimes forever.
What's that book? Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
They're from somewhere, all right. So
Because everybody's totally different.
So think about those kind of things when you're dealing with people. People are very, and I love the science of people. I think that dealing with people for 20 years in the Navy, the 8 years that I've been dealing with 14 to 18-year-olds, watching them mature and grow up, becoming young adults, it's fascinating to me, the type of growth I see in them, to watch them go through a child to a young adult within those 4 years, to watch people grow and continue to get better and better at what they do is exactly what you guys do as leaders. If I can leave you with one thing, if you're not going to take care of your people will never take care of you. So you need to remember that, okay? If you're not going to go out there and look out for your people, advocate for them, try to get them awards if there's awards that they can get, motivate them to do things. I'm not saying do the work. Never do 51%. Only do 50%. Meet them halfway. That's as far as you go. If they're not going to give you 50%, never do 51%, because you'll end up doing 52%, 60%, 80%. You have to remember that when you're dealing with people, especially as a leader. You have to take care of them. That's one thing that I will never, ever forget. You have to take care of your people. They will go to the ends of the earth for you. It may take a little time for them to realize it, but they will do anything for you if you take care of them. How hard is it for you to get a gift from somebody and then you turn around and want to be mad at that person? You can't. They gave you something. They did something emotional for you. They gave you something that meant something. You can't be mad at somebody for giving you something. And so think about that when you have your people on your teams. Think about sharing things with them, gifts with them. It could be pointers. It could be, you name it. Hey, I just want to send you this because you know what? I think you need it. It's going to help you. And it could be whatever your secret trick is to recruiting or something. I don't know. So I hope you enjoyed that. I don't have any more, Heather.
No, that's perfect. Thank you.
So
Anybody else have
can
any
I
questions for me? Yes.
can I
Come
add
on,
a little
Jen.
something? So this is cool. I was actually watching The Jungle Book. I tend to listen to Disney movies while I work. I know that's weird, but that's what I like because there's a lot of positive stuff in it. So I posted on my leadership page 2 days ago, and this goes exactly with what you just said. So they use different words. They were talking about a wolf pack, but I changed what they used to the word leader and team. And the strength of the team is the leader, and the strength of the leader is the team. And I thought that is the most perfect summary of everything that you just said. Like it totally sums it all up. Like leaders are nothing without their team, and the leader can make a huge difference in the team as well. So that was amazing, Jason. Thank you so much. I learned so much.
Your people will emulate you.
Yep.
If you're a sourpuss, they're gonna be sour too. If you're always gonna be complaining about stuff, so are your people. If you meet a Scentsy consultant and they're that way, chances are their leader's that way. So
100%.
that's the way I look at things. If I'm gonna be a jerk all the time around my kids, treat them like crap, talk down to them all the time, tell them they can't do it, they're probably gonna be the same way. So, all right.
All right, 7:30.
I could talk to y'all.
And if
forever.
any of
I
you
just like
are
talking
in
to
that
people.
in a situation like that, like if you're in a situation with a leader that you just don't jive with, or your leader is so negative to you, then go find a new tribe. Go find some new people to hang out with, because it really
That's
can
the
be
toxicity
life
I'm talking
changing.
about.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's the toxicity. All right, I'm
Get
good.
yourself away from it.
Yeah, because
Yes.
loves company, and you don't have to vibe with people just because they're your leader or on your team. There are plenty of other people in this company. You can still have a professional relationship with, say, let's just say it's your upline. You can still be professional with them. Doesn't mean you have to be besties with them, but it also doesn't mean you have to be negative. You can still be on a professional level and find that place where you feel you really fit in. That's not related to your up or your downline too. So
I think that's where people get stuck to, right in that bottleneck where they have expectations of a sponsor, thinking it's going to be a certain way, where it goes back to, I think I've said this before, we join under people we're comfortable with, whether they've been our consultant or the neighbor or someone we first bought with. We don't know what questions to ask. We don't know, we don't take time to get to know their personality. And if we have things in common, a lot of the times we join because we bought from them. It's comfortable. I know them. That's safe. Right. And a lot of times it's not a good fit. And then not a lot of times, sometimes it's not a good fit. And then what happens is the consultant gets stuck in that bottleneck where they think, but she's my sponsor. She's supposed to do this. She's supposed to do this. She's supposed to be my friend. She's supposed to be my bestie. She's supposed to. And they're not going to change most of the time, whether it's good or bad. It just doesn't fit with you. And then the consultant will either, you have a choice. They quit because they think like, my sponsor didn't do this, so I failed. And that just isn't how it needs to be. There's so much stuff online. There's so much stuff in your fingertips where you can just say, hey, we're cool. I'm going to go find a bunch of other people to help me and feed what I need and mesh well and become friends. But a lot of people, they go left instead of a right turn. And that's where then they start the blame game. If they want to join again, they're like, well, I joined under an awful sponsor. Well, that person may not be an awful sponsor. They may be learning to be a sponsor for one, or two, they just might not been a good fit for you. And so it's something for you guys to all remember with yourselves, with your teams, situations you're going through. I had a call just the other day where someone, she's like, I joined under a completely negative, drama-filled team. And whenever I hear that, Jen and I've had this conversation, I always like, okay, like there's two sides to every story, and there's two ways of people dealing with things. And you just have to find your tribe, and you can't get wrapped up around blessing and releasing if you have to. That's not always a bad thing. And usually the road ends up meeting back again, and you can be professional friends and just take your business to the next level.
So I wanted to say something kind of just has come to my brain as we were sitting here listening to everyone. When I first was married and where I live, yes, it's only 20 minutes from where I grew up, but I didn't know anyone here. I was a young mom, young married. And I was in this group of women, a mutual friend kind of invited me to come to some scrapbooking nights. That's how it started. They all grew up together. I was kind of just married someone who kind of knew them, kind of thing. So anyway, long story short, it wasn't until I kind of outgrew them, and I mean that in a very nice way because they played a very important part of my life. I don't regret any friendships there, but it wasn't until I outgrew that I realized that I had taken on so much of their mentalities, their negative, their being okay with just being okay. Like they were okay. I wish I could think of an example with just not bettering themselves. They were wonderful people. They played a very huge role in me. And I'm grateful for them to this day. But it wasn't until I pulled away from that I was like, I had really adapted that mentality without even realizing it. And it wasn't until I kind of found some other friends. I don't want to think I replaced them because I didn't. It just was different ages, different kids, different activities, and just outgrowing them. And it wasn't until I found this other group of ladies that my husband even was like, I don't know what happened. Your attitude is just so much more positive. And I'm grateful for each of these friendships along the way. I've had them come and go within Scentsy. And sometimes it's hard. And I bring this up because it's so important to surround yourself with those people with those positive mentalities, because you will be drugged down before you realize it. And sometimes you won't see it for years. And I'm grateful, just like Jason said, the mistakes, he didn't see them as mistakes. They helped teach me. So don't look at it and go, gosh, that was such a waste of time. I spent 7 years with this friend and they walked all over me, whatever. I'm just using that scenario. No, look at it as I'm going to grow and be better. I'm not going to be bitter. I'm going to be better and grow from these situations. I'm going to make those situations better myself and better my abilities to be a better friend to others. It really made me reflect on how I treat others. So hope that made sense. It just was something that kind of came to mind as we grow, all the different flourishing friendships I've had along the way and how each one has played a big role in who I am and what I am each day.
I think we could all probably share a story about different situations that have happened in our businesses along the way or within life, and how it's molded us or changed our trajectory in some way. But one of the things I think we need to kind of look at too is, we can talk about teams all day long, but what about the other stuff in our business? Like people who are, excuse me, if you're maybe struggling to get to, let's say, active or the 500, and you've reached out to a few people and they've all said no, and you have to really step back and say, how do I want to take this in? Am I going to let these few no's stop me? Because for a lot of people, that's their dead end. They get a few no's or they don't hit their goal, and they let that be their stopping point. They don't know how to get up and around or over a hurdle that they maybe is just on the other side of it is everything that they want in their business. But they have to change that mindset of like, okay, well, I've asked a few people, a few have said no. It sucks. I got to figure out a way to get over this. And what else can I do? All right, this didn't work. So what else can I try? Like Heather's attitude about everything. Okay, well, we're not going to let that be the ending point. We have to figure out a solution. And so anything, it comes down to this business. And a lot of times when we're talking Scentsy, it does apply to life, right? So you have to figure out what can you tell yourself? What can you do that's different that you haven't tried? Who can you surround yourself with that maybe can point you in a different direction? Because I've said it before on this, we all, the 6 and 7 of us, whatever, we get down sometimes, but within us, there's always one of us that will pick the others up if need be, or all of us will pick each other up. You need to have those types of people in your life. It's very important, but you also need to be that for yourself. You need to know that not everyone's going to love you. Not everyone's going to say yes. You're not always going to reach all your goals. It does not mean you're failing. It just means it's a learning lesson. Everything that happens in this business is, if you sit back and you take a look at it, there's a lesson to be learned. With every situation I could come up with, I could find a lesson in it. And that's, it comes down to how you want to look at it, how you see things, how you see yourself, how you see the challenge, and how you're going to find the outcome for that.
1,000,000,000% agree with that and everything. And just to expand, I'm sure you guys have all heard this before, but the only way to fail is to quit, right? The only way to fail is to quit. And a lot of times when we hear those no's and we get down on ourselves and that negativity, that is when the failure comes in, is when we decide to quit, when we decide to let those no's control our outcome. And something that I say to people all the time, it doesn't matter if it's something in their business, if it's personal life or whatever, but if things aren't changing or things aren't shifting in your world, in your business, and you feel like you're doing all the right things. So I feel like a lot of times we feel like, no, I'm really trying to be positive, right? Like I'm really doing all the things. I'm trying to surround myself and distance myself, but things still aren't changing the way I would like them to. I show this all the time. There's a lesson to learn. There's still a lesson to learn. For whatever reason that you may find yourself stuck, whatever reason you may find yourself not getting quite where you want to be, keep going with that positive mentality. Keep going with that arrows out. Just the more that we focus on what we want, what we think about, we bring about. We've said that multiple times throughout weeks of the Thursday night shift. Things will start to shift. But I truly, truly believe in the universe, and what we put out there comes back to us. And when there's a lesson that we have to learn, we have to learn it. No matter what we do, no matter how we change it, no matter how we shift left, we shift right, there's lessons that we have to learn in our life. There is actually a leader. Do I share this? There was a leader whom had sat at a specific title for a long time. She couldn't push through this title. And there were some circumstances in the business where she actually, some people rolled up in different things, and she promoted to that title. And for a while, she was great. She held the title. She got paid there, right? But she still hadn't learned her lesson. And it wasn't but 6 months down the road, she wasn't holding that title anymore. She went back to where she was, right? And that's because there's certain things we have to learn. So just keep trucking along, just keep doing. I know that fake it till you make it. We don't want to be fake, but it really does pay out in the end. And then remember that the only way I can fail at this is if I quit. Because if you keep doing it, you will succeed.
Okay, I'll pop in and say one thing, or maybe 10 things. You never know. I would say probably the biggest eye opener that I've had throughout the course of my Scentsy business. Scentsy probably called my attention to it more, but I realized that there were other pockets and aspects of my life where I let this happen as well. But we're so quick to let ourselves down, or to let ourselves get by with excuses, or let ourselves, we'll do everything for everybody else. We won't tell other people no, but we will easily tell ourselves no. Or we will easily block ourselves from the next big thing. Because when you feel like nobody is reliant on the decision that you're making except yourself, then you feel like I won't be letting anybody down. So I can, but realistically, you're letting yourself down and you're the biggest one. And so I think my mindset, and like I said, it really was brought to my attention that this is why accountability is really important. And this is why a group of people that you can say out loud what you want to happen so that they can hold you accountable. Because if you tell nobody, it's very easy for you to let yourself down. And so that's a very big eye opener. And I know Jamie posted in the chat that boundaries are really important. I've learned that. There's many life lessons that I've gotten out of my Scentsy business and on the Scentsy journey, but boundaries has been a big one as well. And why we put everybody else in front of ours, I think in front of ourselves. I think it's our nature. Sorry, guys, but I think it's our nature as women. I think that it's something in us that we have to nurture everybody. We have to care about everybody. We have to make sure that people are included and feel important. And it leaves us a lot of times feeling like our cup is empty. And so when I finally realized I needed to get to a place where the things I was doing in life, I had to love. I had to love doing them. I had to love who I was surrounding myself with, because I'm getting older, which means I'm becoming a little less tolerant of how I spend my time, because I don't have a lot of time to spend on things I don't want to be doing or with people that I don't want to be with. And so I'm going to always blame it on age. Age has made me a little bit more bold in expressing what's important to me, and allowing me to set up boundaries, allowing me to say no. But remember, we can't fill the cups of others if our cup is empty. You cannot inspire unless you are inspired. And if you find that you are in a place where you are not inspired, then you need to call that positive person. Because I know when Heather asked the question earlier, you were answering that question for yourself in your own mind. When she asked us, who's the most positive person you know? Each of you thought, who would I say if they called on me? Who would be my most positive person? So I know you made note of that. And so, or if you haven't made note of it, because you're like, well, I have like 4, and then we all envy you because everybody wants 4 extremely positive people. But those are the people then. Those are the people that you have helped fill your cup so that you can fill the cups of others. Mindset. It's a very, very powerful thing. So much so that I wanted to answer, and I know Jody fielded the question, but Rosalia, had posted just a minute ago and said, I'm in this exact situation right now. I'm new to Scentsy and everyone I've asked tells me no. I know you haven't asked everybody. I know it feels like you've asked everybody, but you haven't. And every single person that has said no, it just means not right now. Instead of asking them and telling them, you have to show them. Showing is the most effective way. You show them by showing that you enjoy what you do. Don't ask them if they want to buy Scentsy then. Ask if they have seen how awesome the counter clean works on your counter. If they're standing in front of you, ask them if they have. There are ways to ask people about Scentsy without asking them, will you buy from me? Will you host a party for me? Will you join my team? We don't even use that lingo really anymore because that lingo is outdated. We are in a world where we connect digitally. We are everybody. Why do you get on these calls on Thursday nights? Those of you that get on consistently, because these are your people. This is your Thursday community, right? So we're really big on community. Why would anybody in your life be any different? Every single person yearns for a sense of belonging. Every single person wants a community. Every single person wants a tribe of people that pick them up. Everybody wants a circle that they can surround themselves with, that they've got different people they can go to depending on the different, whatever it is that you're going through. Your customers are the same way. In fact, I don't even call my customers anymore because they're my friends. Like if you do business with me, we're friends. We are friends and I will treat you that way. I will answer the phone, not formal like we've never talked. I will answer the phone and like we are old friends. So when you treat people that way, and because I'm guessing if you're new, Rosalia, and I'm picking you out because you answered the question or you asked the question, but this goes to anybody. I'm guessing if you're new, you are asking all of the people in your innerest circle, your most inner circle, innerest. Because that's what you do when you start with Scentsy. You start with the people that you know, the people that are close to you, the people, maybe you've already asked them and they've bought from you because they are your inner circle. And now you've gone to that circle right outside of them where it's the people that feel comfortable telling you no. They don't feel like, oh, I'm going to help Rosalia build her business. They're the people in the next circle that are like, no, not interested. No, thank you. Not right now. No. Well, if you linger in that circle, you are going to feel like nobody wants what you have. Instead, back yourself to your inner circle and now start sharing forward again. Sharing. Don't ask. Don't tell. If social media is the platform you're using right now, then you should be doing demonstrations. You should be showing how you change your wax. You should be showing how much you love Berry Snowy Spruce at Christmas time, or how much you love your wall fan diffuser that's plugged in by your fake Christmas tree. You should be showing how you love that your kids have a buddy clip on their backpack. You should show how your kids snuggle the buddy at night. Whatever it is, how you use the product, that is what is going to sell. That is what is going to make your business grow, not by continually asking people without showing them. Off my soapbox. I can get passionate about pretty much anything. So thank you. With that.
I don't think you needed to shut up. I mean, let's take it away.
Sure.
Church any night.
Oh,
I think we could just go on and on about, you can find attitude and motivation and inspiration. We could talk on this topic in so many different kind of like subcategories of our business, whether it's team or customers or parties or, anything like that. One thing I do want to mention is for some of you that might be newer, and if you're watching other people on social media, it's really, really, really important not to compare yourself. It is probably the biggest thief of all things possible. Anything joyous. It will put more self-doubt in yourself if you compare yourself to others. And I'll share a very quick story before we get off, because I feel like tonight was story night. Really, it was a very big story night. But when I first made Superstar Director, for first 10 seconds, I was excited. And then this ungodly fear just set in. And I went to, I mean, this was years ago. I went to the SSD page and I'm like, I don't belong here. I don't know what to do. I'm not good enough. I can't do what this girl's doing. I definitely don't do what she's doing over here. And then I wanted out. I was like, I don't want to be a superstar director. Like I have no place. This is not where I should be. And I was like, Jody, who are you talking to? Why are you talking like that? Like I do talk to myself a lot, you guys. And it's just like a one-on-one staff meeting over here. Okay. And I said, you need to stop this. And so what I did was I kind of removed myself from the page. I didn't take myself out. I just stopped going there. Right. I stopped putting myself in this situation where I felt like everything was better than me. I needed to be the best I could be. I didn't need to be the best Melissa or Jen or Heather. I needed to be the best Jody. And the way I led my team, or the way I was learning to lead my team, didn't have to look like everybody else's. They had great ideas, and I can take nuggets from all of these amazing people, but I don't have to be just a Jen Audette or a Callie or a Melissa. But that doesn't mean I don't want to learn from them. I'm never going to be like Melissa. I'm never going to be Jen Audette, but I can take some of the things that they want to teach me and I can apply them to my business. But you cannot get so wrapped up in, well, she's new and she made certified in 15 days and I barely have 200. Because if you do that to yourself, if you start to compare what you're doing or your journey is or looks like compared to somebody else's journey, it's like this negative cup of juice, right? That just keeps pouring it and it overflows. And then all of a sudden you quit, you give up because you're telling yourself, which is leading yourself to believe that you aren't good enough, or you're not doing it fast enough, or you're not doing it right. And that is so far from the truth. I have seen people whose journey might take them a little bit longer to get to where they're going. But let me tell you, when they get there, they got stuff figured out. And I aspire to be more like them. I'm sure Melissa's journey, mine, Jen, all of us, every single one of us has a very different path that we've taken to come to each of our own personal goals. And success is defined differently by everybody, right? Some people's success is, for Jen, she shared, I think last week, she wanted to watch her kids get on and off that bus. That's how she defined her success. It wasn't a dollar figure. For me, it was, I wanted enough money to be able to stay home and put some income into the family. So you define your success, you define your path, you define how far you're willing to go and how hard you're willing to push and work to get to where you want. Do not compare yourself. And if you find yourself doing it, remove yourself from that and say, I'm not allowing this to be what I'm going to do. I'm just not going to allow it to happen anymore. And it's very, very important to not get stuck in that. And it's easy. A lot of people do compare. I still do it. And I'm like, all right, enough is enough. We're not sitting in that anymore because that's not going to serve us well. So just try to be mindful of that, I think.
I don't know who else is on pause, but I have a good one too. This goes along with positivity and people that you will see. I don't know, goes along with what Jody said, but another avenue of this. And since my thing is social media, specifically on Instagram stories, because that's where everyone feels like when they press record, they can just go off on whatever's in their brain for the day. So I did this analogy with my team last night and people were like, whoa, I get it. So you guys officially have a business. You're business owners. You are independent business owners. It's no different than if you owned a retail shop. So I want you guys all to have this vision. You're in some cute little Hallmark town and you walk by this beautiful store and it's got a beautiful Christmas tree, right? And little lights are twinkling and snow's on the ground. And you kind of look inside and there's all these little trinkets and gifts and things that you can really picture buying for yourself or people. And you kind of look inside and it looks all happy and you're thinking about going inside. And then all of a sudden the owner of the store slams open the door, runs open and starts screaming about politicians and the world and all of this stuff and things that are going on. And I don't care if you don't believe me, it starts being like, oh, you would be like, Hallmark store was cute. I ain't going in there. That's what your Instagram and social media account is, guys. Like, it's no different. Whatever you do in person or what you wouldn't do in person, you shouldn't do on social media. So those of you that watch accounts to get great ideas, be mindful of the mindset aspect, the positivity aspect, because some things that people are doing, and I don't care how fast their accounts are growing or what they're doing, it doesn't necessarily make it right. You're supposed to be providing value on social media, and that can be inspiration, quotes, tips, recipes, ideas, thoughts, a mini micro blog about your journey. I did one on Instagram the other day about the passing away of my cousin and why I created a little village and what I did with my Scentsy warmers, and people loved it. And they were like, that's a great idea to remember people. But if your value is thinking that if you own a store and it's online and that you can just press the button and go off into these, yes, it's your account. You can do whatever you want, but I want you to think of it like that little Hallmark store. Would you put a sign outside that says, I think this about this, and I think this about this, and you all suck and you don't, and listen to me? Like, you wouldn't do that outside of a real store. So don't do it online. And if you find yourself going that way, listening to things that aren't filling your head with goodness, you can still follow the person, but I might say, put it on mute. You can go into each account and put people on mute and push them a little bit further down, and only go into those accounts when you kind of want to see what's going on. But pay close attention, because you want people to come to your business that have good mindsets and aren't going to fill your world with drama. And if you're putting that stuff out, that's what you're going to get in return. So just whatever you would do in person is the same kind of picture you need to paint online. So a good thought to remember when you're thinking about what should I post today.
That doesn't mean if you're negative in person to be negative on socials. Just kidding.
Yeah, you should be the same person on camera that you are off. If you're going to add value every day, either on social media or off social media, right? You have 24 hours in a day. What you choose to do with it is your choice. Melissa, did you want to add one more thing before I close it with something else? Or no?
Do you want me to?
No, I just thought you had unmuted, so I thought you needed to. I was like,
Oh,
I didn't want to cut anybody off.
I'm always, no, I actually was going to say to you guys, I was going to do a closeout question.
Oh, okay. Well, then let me read this and then you do a closeout question.
Okay.
So I just wanted to read this with you because I think it's a perfect opportunity for you to think about this. I'm sure many of you have heard of it. It's called The Dash, the poem by Linda Ellis. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth and spoke of the following date with tears. But he said with what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. For that dash represents all the time they spent alive on earth, and now only those who loved them know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that still can be rearranged. To be less quick to anger and show appreciation more and love the people in our lives like we've never loved before. Sorry, I lost my line because I am scrolling. If we treat each other with respect and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you lived your dash? Go ahead, Melissa.
Well, and people will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Right? My closeout question, to switch it so Jody doesn't go through another box of Kleenex tonight. My closeout question is, guys, what's one fun thing you discovered this week, found this week, bought this week, a new favorite gadget? Mine will not be what I highlighted on my stories, surprisingly. I've found multiple fun things this week. But what is something fun you've learned, discovered, found, bought? And I'll go first because you guys are looking around. I found these cards at Home Goods, TJ Maxx, maybe. And it is hand sanitizer. And it says, Santa baby, slip a bottle under the tree for me. And these are going to be Christmas cards. These aren't going to be my family official Christmas cards, but these are going to be my cards that I put in with each of my orders for my customers, my friends, not my customers, my friends. But yeah, hand sanitizer. Okay, did I stall enough? Jen, you might be ready.
I'm ready. So I have been, when anybody checks out from a party with me, I always ask them if they have children and the ages of their children. And so I've been putting something fun for the kids in the bags as well. You guys might know I kind of like kids. So I found on Amazon these little tiny coloring books, and they're super cheap. I forget how much they were, like dirt cheap, but there's a lot of pages and they're all little holiday things. So I put one of these in a little bag, and I bought the crayons on Amazon. It's a 4-pack of crayons. And I think I got most of these ideas from Christina Stainbrook, by the way, because she's so brilliant. And then I just got some stickers and an airhead, put them all in a little bag. Like, this bag literally cost me, I don't know, I'm going to say 50 cents, if that. And like, those of you who have kids, like, there's nothing more special than when somebody like thinks about your kids. So I really am loving it. And it makes me feel good because I know that I like kids. So anyway, I found those on Amazon. Hey. I would tell you what they were called, but I don't know, but I'll look it up and I'll tell you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jen.
I'll go.
Okay.
It's not really for my business, but it brought me extreme joy this week. Okay.
Doesn't matter.
I repurposed my old garland on my mantle, and I was so impressed with my crafty skills. I made it look super fancy, and I was so proud that I got to repurpose something. I've looked at it 1,000 times. Also, I have 2 because I got my new ruggable rug, and that was beautiful. So not business related, but it brought me immense joy.
I love it. Thanks, JP.
Okay, I'll go. First of all, to Heather's poem, my sister got a new dog a couple months ago. His name is Dash, after that book, because she's always wanted this kind of dog, and she was going to live her Dash. So this brings me joy. You guys know I like to make little things for customers. I'm not always super creative at it, but I just really love the way that these came out. So much that I don't want to mail them. I'm like, I want these in the mail. And it's just a thank you gift for all my October orders, which is super late because, I had the Rona and I didn't want to mail anything when I had the Rona. So those bring me immense joy to put together. And it's probably my favorite thing about the business is making little.
You're not even going to tell us what's in it?
Oh, you want to know what's in it? Well, so there's 2 different ones. Most of them are the same, except I added a bar of wax to people who either host.
Look, everybody, I'm going to send this out to my customers.
Sorry, my brain is tired tonight. So there's wax in it. There's a chocolate covered cookie, a scent circle, obviously business marketing material, cotton cleanup, and a sample spray bottle of very stony spruce or peppermint dreams counter clean, and a peppermint bark. What are those things called? The Ghirardelli chocolates, because those are my favorite.
Ooh,
So, yeah, it's a good one.
Can I place an order?
Yeah, well, I mean, sure. You want to join my team though? I really love for you to join my team.
Okay, Jill, you always have a million awesome things.
Well, I just posted that link to the Dash poem, their little wallet cards. So I'm actually going to buy a package of those and put them in my Christmas cards to my family. Because I just think that, I don't know, sometimes people get caught up in things that don't matter, and they should take a minute, just like we do. Scentsy, a lot of people will say that, network marketing is this and network marketing is that, but network marketing allows us to personally develop every single day. And I feel bad for some people, even in my own family, that might not have that growth and learning ability like we do. And also, if you go to Target, they have all these cool little coffee bar, cocoa bar, candies. I'm sure that Melissa and Becker and Callie and everyone's seen them, but they have these, and they're like little pretzels with salted toffee, but they have peppermint. They have all different kinds. So I'm going to be putting them in either my thank yous or my Scentsy clubs with their sockies and their little, you guys saw these before, the little Walmart ornaments together, and making cute little packages. And I think if you go to Miracle Mailers, I think Rachel said the other day, they have the mailers with the hot cocoa on them and Christmas stuff, which I haven't really found on Amazon that well. So these will make perfect little gifts for my Scentsy Club members.
And if anybody is wanting to get super crafty for less, today's deal on Sticker Mule is 50 custom 10 by 13 mailers for $29, which is a steal. And they're custom. So anyway, Sticker Mule, if you go to their deals, because a lot of times we get questions about, there's like what Jill has that she sends her stuff out in. I just had them, I ordered mine today that says the Wickless twist on fragrance, because that's my little slogan.
Yeah, you just
So
design
anyway.
a graphic on Canva and then you just upload it to their thing. And the only thing I will say that they only do it on the 10 by 13, so they're kind of big. So it's smart if you're doing a graphic where you're going to mail out small stuff to do it so that you could do something, you know, your label's going to go on one side, so you'd want your graphic to go on the other. Just food for
Awesome.
thought.
Great idea. Thanks, Joe. Heather, what's your favorite thing?
My favorite thing right now at the moment is the trending cocoa bombs. I'm giving those to all my people at my home parties with my party packs and telling them to have a look at my lookbook and enjoy a hot cocoa bomb on me before our party. So that's all I'm doing right now, just doing a little something different.
And where did you find your cocoa bombs?
At a local place here that makes them. So I'm
They have them
supporting
at Target.
local. Yeah, you can get them, get a deal.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, guys.
I have one to share with you. I have something good that I'm actually really genuinely excited about. Okay. So one thing is actually something that Melissa shared, and they actually went in my party pack, or not my party packs. These are going in some of my VIP thank you mails that I just did today. And I will drop the link in the chat. And that's one of the reasons that if you're on live, the chat is super duper awesome. So I mixed it up. So I did a very snowy spruce dish soap and then a spray of the peppermint, perfectly peppermint counter clean. So they got a little sample of both because I wanted them to try both. And then Melissa actually sent the link, and these were super duper cheap. So I'm going to drop them in the chat, and they're still there, but the bottles were like $6 for 20 of them. And so I ordered a ton of them. And then the other thing is not Scentsy related, but if you haven't seen on my Instagram story that I shared these little face scrubbers that you wash your face with, they seriously feel so good. They're better. I don't like to use my Clarisonic. I don't like to do any of that. I don't even really like to wash my face, but I do now. And I get 2 of them and I just go like this, and it brings me a lot of joy. And they are silicone face scrubbers on Amazon, and they were $12 for $11.
So if you want 12 of them, or you can go to Target, and they are in the dollar spot right now.
Stop it.
Yes, they are in teal, navy, and hot pink.
Well, would you look at that?
You're welcome from your resident
Target.
Yeah.
And there are
pretty much
limited
got
things in the Target dollar spot online. Not always as good, but you can find some things on the Target dollar spot online too, sometimes.
Hey, I like those. I like closing it out this way because I think every week we have something we've come across that we love. So,
yeah.
And if you guys ever have anything that you come across that you love, just let one of us know and we'll let you close out with us. Crystal, you take us out. You keep.
And there will not be a call next week. It's Thanksgiving. So I want to make sure all of you know we're not going to be here.
Wow.
Crystal, what are you sharing?
I'm sharing a book I got from Gemma today. I got it in the mail. I seen the email. I was like, ah! But that was my happy moment this week.
That's awesome. And those are the
Are you
best.
ready for a good story? Melissa gave me that same book. And so I went and found them because I loved it so much. So that is kind of like a trickle down of a great idea from Melissa.
Well, thank you. But yes, those are awesome. In fact, mine is right here as well. Okay, you guys, thank you for getting on with us. We appreciate you. We love
Happy
this
Thanksgiving to everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And in
stay
Canada
healthy.
too. We're going to send you our Thanksgiving love. We love you anyway.
Bye, everyone.
Happy
Bye, y'all.
Thanksgiving.
Happy
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
happy
Thanksgiving here from Canada.
Thank you.
Oh, I want to see what
Thanksgiving.
Robin is sharing.
Love you guys.
Happy
Did Robin hang
Thanksgiving.
up? Robin
Happy
was showing
Thanksgiving.
something super cute from her little person.
I know the little drawing. I saw it.
Yeah, what was it? I missed it.
It was a cute little drawing or something.
Aw.
Super cute. Very cute. I saw it.
Whatever you want to show them, you can show them. I'm unmuted now. He wanted to talk to you guys before.
Oh.
I was like, no, it's
Yes,
not
show
my turn to
us.
talk.
Oh, you made a
Oh,
cookie? Is that a
a
cookie?
pumpkin.
No, it's
These
a
are my
pumpkin. Sorry.
coworkers.
Oh,
These are my coworkers.
Hi.
you guys are such good helpers. Oh,
Oh,
look at
they
that.
are.
I want to see that drawing though. The one, what did you color?
This one. Tell them what it is. What are we doing?
It's a picture of me and my mom on a sand castle.
This is
I
the
thought that was a
sandcastle, and we're on the
sandcastle.
sandcastle.
Oh,
cool
is she
is
the
that?
queen and you're the prince?
Yes.
Yes, I figured.
Sounds good.
Good job.
We
All right, right. Good night, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, y'all. See you in 2 weeks.